Welcome back, everybody. This week, as promised, we're going to be doing a synopsis of, we're starting with the Fool, which is the first card of the Major Arcana. And I've decided that I'm also going to incorporate the ritual or the prayer for the week. I'm going to add my water to a plate with the candles. The moon is growing, so it's a time for start thinking of things that we want to do and set in motion. So there we are. Make sure that you focus on the candle that you like the most. I got my quarters. The quarters are gonna be east, south, west, and north. And then I use one to represent Lord and Lady. Okay, this match doesn't want to work. Let's do another match. And there we go. As I'm reading. Once upon a time, we set out on an adventure. Our young traveler, carefree and untethered, walks with the wisdom of a child, intuitive yet lacking the emotional intelligence that comes with age. Their ego is still unformed, allowing them to move freely between innocence and knowing, between being naive and being wise. They are the Fool, a number. The number actually it's 0 for this card, so it could be the beginning of the pack or at the end of the 22 major arcanas. It doesn't matter. That's why he travels, because he can go anywhere. His androgynous figure with a polarized worldview can shift perspectives as easily as they shift their step. They are neither bound by physical identity nor by rigid beliefs, always open to experiencing both sides of any argument. With no set destination, they can never truly be lost. Their ideology is as controversial as it is insightful, sometimes embraced, sometimes rejected, but always spoken with the conviction of a voice unafraid to challenge. The Fool is a person that won't stay shut because he was considered an advisor to the kings. He was the one that made them laugh. They were considered important people in the old times. So they were known by everybody and they could get along with everybody. They had a good status. It's just in recent times that the Fool has become a despective word, meaning someone to be ridiculized or someone that's not actually taken seriously. But in the old days, it didn't used to be that way. The Fool used to be a figure that was important within our society. And within the tarot cards, the Fool still is important. At their side, a loyal dog warns them of potential dangers along the path. Yet the Fool moves forward without hesitations, eyes fixed on the horizon, trusting their own intuition. They are naive, or are they awakened? Either way, they don't sweat it. Their intuition is razor sharp, their emotions fluctuating between deep wisdom and a childlike whimsy. They are completely disinterested in the expectations of others and do as they please, walking the fine line between genius and folly. Because their nature is that of the trickster, they use their cunning, sometimes for good and sometimes for mischief. To get their message across, this is why they are often depicted with little concern for where they go or how they are dressed. They are the very struggle between chaotic and unconscious and the structured awareness. So let me show you a little bit of what we're talking. As you can see in both cards, you can see them. He's presented as walking along the path somewhere. This one's a little bit different. It shows a man, and I can show it up to there, who's actually lamenting something. He's in distress for some reason. So you see, that's why you need to choose well which cards you connect with, because the meaning will vary. I'm going to leave this one behind here, and these are more traditional tarot cards. Many decks portray the Fool as a jester, a role that once held high status in olden times. Jesters were not fools in the modern sense. They sat close to the king, not as objects of ridicule, but as advisors, reminders to the rulers to stay humble. Now seen as something laughable, dismissed, but the Fool teaches us otherwise. They remind us that while structure exists, so does the impulse to break free, not as a rebellion against society expectation. At some point, we all play the fool. We all take leaps without knowing where we will land, and in doing so, we embrace what it's truly meant to be ourselves. The fool's lesson, the road to self-realization. It's not about fitting into the mold, it's about becoming exactly who you were meant to be, finding balance between the shadow and ego as a lifelong journey. The self is the merging of both, the light and dark, or the shadow and the conscious, our shadow and our light. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because that was my next sentence. The light and the dark, the conscious and the unconscious. The journey only ends when life itself does. So what we can see is the fool is young chronologically, he's young, but wise in the way that he views and experiences the world. He is not told by anybody how he's going to live his life. He lives his life freely and without a care. Nobody. He doesn't care about anything or anyone. Also, it's it's a jolly card. Usually, jesters, they were the fools for the court, for the king's courts. Not only advise the king, because actually that role fell on the advisors of the king, though they did advise them of things because they were very connected to the people in the village. So the fool is actually that representation of someone that can go anywhere, have conversations with everybody, and knows about everything that's happening. I hope this helps for you to be able to have a better understanding of what the fool means, and we'll have the magician next week. We'll keep on going over the fool this full week. I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to do the reading for this week. So this week reading goes from the 3rd of March through the 9th, which will be on Sunday. Let me face them this way so that you can actually see them. So we have for some reason given up and abandoned something that we were planning or we were doing. We have totally and completely decided to scratch everything that we were doing and start all over. This was a good decision because we were not learning anything where we were at, which means we were repeating the cycles, but we were not progressing with the life lessons that we needed to learn from that situation. So scratching everything that we were doing was the right path and leaving it behind. Though right now, for some reason, it seems like you don't have the strength to move forward, but you actually do. Because even though there's still things to be revealed, conversations to be had, so we feel that we are not empowered or in the right place. Let me place the cards here. We're not in the right place or the right position to accomplish what we have, because there's still things that we need to learn, battles, conversations, and even situations that we haven't foreseen that we need to deal with. And this is what is going to bring about the new enterprise and the money that we are expecting. There are things, the money or the job opportunities, a wealth opportunity that is presenting itself. It still awaits a masculine energy to bring a message. In other words, this person has to bring a message, and this is not going to be a positive message. Though there's going to be some controversy, as I said before, because it feels like you're stuck between a sword and the wall. You're stuck where you are, and you need to decide and choose between two masculine, I would say men in this situation, presenting themselves to you and giving you an opportunity of starting anew. Still, with these options and these men, there are going to be more than one man presenting themselves. So you have choices, but you have to be very careful when you choose, because even though they present themselves as the best option for you, they're not necessarily true. It's not necessarily true. They're not necessarily the men that you want in your life or the partnership that you're looking for. So even though you have a lot of options around you right now as trying to conquer you, you still don't feel at ease. You still don't feel either the love or the connection to either of these four men. You feel more like you want to reject them because they're not the right men for you. All four of them, they're not the right men. So in your heart's desire, you know that. That's why you are presented as a weeping person, as a person that is having nightmares, because none of them would be your choice to be with. So you rather be alone than having the company of these people or these men. They're not the right men for you, which is the right choice. that's the right decision, to leave everything behind and choose and say, I'd rather stay alone and be happier and feel free that being with the wrong choices for you. I hope you like my reading for this week and it enlightens somebody out there that needs the message. See you next week.